Hey, hey, hey.
I'm on mute. I've been doing it
Oh,
all day.
okay. I
I'm
was
talking
like,
on mute.
is it me or
No, it was me. It was me, boo. Welcome back to another episode of Uncommon Faith, guys. It's your girl, Laflower B, and my
and Regina
dynamic
B?
co-host is back, Regina Brown. How you doing, boo?
I am wonderful. I am glad to be back.
Right? It almost feel like you at church when you're like, "I'm glad to be back in the house with a group of book dogs." Just playing, just playing. But I'm feeling good, y'all. Let me go ahead and share our broadcast. Remember, if you're tuning in from Facebook, from YouTube, definitely share, like, and subscribe. Tonight's show is going to be amazing. We're going to be talking about grief. We're going to be talking about character, which is a key of worthiness. One that I didn't even realize would impact me so much was that key of worthiness. We deal with worthiness all day long, in and out. Both of us are certified worthy method coaches. So yeah, let's jump into it. Hi, but Regina, I know you say you're doing good, but we are going through a lot. We are going through a lot. And in this season, guys, August has been a doozy, to say the least. August has been a doozy. But we knew that, I think we said it a couple of weeks ago, that prophetically that more was coming. And it's crazy because sometimes God he only gives us so much insight, right? He gives us so much insight for you just to kind of be ready. But at the end of the day, you still got to walk this thing out by faith. That's what the name of the show is, Uncommon Faith. Because you literally, in order to be successful, in order to not lose your mind and to hurt some people in this world that we live in, or to lose your mind or lose your faith, even when things happen, you got to have uncommon faith. What you think about that?
Absolutely.
What you think?
Absolutely. It has, like you said, this has been one August for the record books. This is in August of 2021 will not be one that I will forget, right? I'm like, I'll be, 95 and still can tell you everything that went down August of 2021, like, because man, it came in with a bang. And I mean, and it's been kicking hard ever since.
It's been
And
kicking
to your
ass. It ain't even hard. It's been kicking ass.
yes,
August has tried to
I'm
take so many people out. I know you were saying. I know you were saying. But sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. I tiptoe, I almost play I tightrope walk on that fine line between saved and it's a fine line. Anybody else be tiptoeing, like you be playing, like just dancing on that line between a
you
holy
on that fence. You
and a
you you
hood.
you
I be on there sometimes. I be on there because stuff happens, and when shift
real life.
happens, it's like, oh my gosh. When shift happens, you be like, Lord, should I just throw in this towel? Do I want to continue ministry? Do I want to continue praying? Because sometimes you will be in a point, guys, and that's why I love Uncommon Faith, because you will be in a point where you literally cannot pray. I didn't been there before where I can literally, like, no words can come out of my mouth. Am I the only one
Nothing.
where you done been going through so much in your life where you literally cannot formulate, your mouth can't even break open to even, like,
Mm-mm.
it won't even come from, it almost feel like it come from,
Nothing.
nothing will come even from my gut.
Nothing.
Like, no
Nothing.
words.
Just
Anybody else
just
been
empty. Absolutely. That's where it's been. That's what it is. But like you said, this is uncommon faith for a reason, because that's what it takes, to get through these things. And falling back on our faith and knowing that
there?
everything
Right,
that happens for a reason. Nothing is just happenstance. And at the end of the day, it's all by design. And
right.
so if God has allowed the certain things, then he's allowed it, and there's a purpose behind it. And so it's like I actually yesterday just went outside, and I know my neighbors probably thought I was crazy, because the walkway up to the door, I literally just laid down on it and just looking up at the sky, and was just like, I
Are
mean,
you serious?
just nothing. Yeah, I just laid there and on the hot concrete and the ants crawling on me and everything. And I was just,
You were just
and I
laying
said,
there.
Lord, just lay there because I said, there, I know there's purpose in this, and I know there's something that we are supposed to be taking from this and gleaning from this. And so show me what it is. Because sometimes it's hard to see. So
It's
sometimes it's
hard.
really hard to see and know what is the lesson right now. What is this? But
Absolutely.
nonetheless, we know at the end of the day that this too shall pass, and this and this and this and this, because that's what August has been, right? It's been a bunch of thises. And so
Absolutely.
yeah,
It's
we in
been a
that
lot.
lifeboat right now, struggling.
Yes. And it's like, is he going, when he calls you out on the water, will you have enough courage to jump out on the water or to get out there to walk on water? And will you have enough faith to walk to him on the water? Will you have enough faith to walk to him on the water? Right? So, guys,
And
tonight,
that, and to your point right there, have
yeah,
faith to get on the water, but then just like, okay, just like the disciple, you got to also be able to stay up on the water. You can't get out there on the water and then take your eyes off of him and drop, and drown. So not only we got to have the faith to come out and say, yeah, I can do this, but you got to keep it and maintain it. And that's when it gets hard. I'm not even going to lie, because that attack on, okay, when is this going to end? When is this, like, you keep telling yourself, well, I'm about to turn the corner. I'm right there. I'm right there. But then it's like something else, another boulder come and roll you back. And so, but still holding on to that faith that regardless of what's coming and regardless of what's around that corner, I'm still pressing forward.
exactly. Exactly. That's so true. And the type of faith that's gonna keep you going, that sustainable faith, that's everything that uncommon faith stands on, right? Because when like we talk about, when the enemy comes knocking at your door, even when life, not even the enemy, when trouble or life just comes knocking at
Life.
your door,
Yeah.
do
Life
you
just
have
happens.
enough faith to withstand? Do you have enough faith to withstand just life in general? Just living on this earth that we live in. Do you have enough faith to sustain? And that's why, that's why we do what we do. We help people understand those principles, understand how to activate that uncommon faith in their life. Not that wishy-washy faith, not that faith that always feels good, that faith that's always spring daisy cinnamon,
That
you
easy
know,
stuff.
right? That
Yeah.
has
It's
all,
easy to rock with it when everything's going your way.
right, right. And so, guys, tonight our topic, we're going to be talking about character and how character can help you, right, in this journey. How characters can help you get in position and stay in position. Get in position and stay in position. Because when you talk about character, okay, Regina, you here and you there. Praise it. Praise it. You two, you multiple. Okay, I see you. You're not omnipresent, but you're in
Look,
multiple places. I
look,
feel
I
you.
told you I'm being stretched right now.
I love it. I love it. But guys, I want to talk about character because so many times we don't talk about character, and I see so many believers getting bamboozled because their character is not strong enough to see, like we say in the streets, real versus, real knows real. Real recognizes real, right? Real recognizes real, right?
And
And
game
then,
recognized game.
right,
So what
boom.
what
And I know the saints, y'all say, right, try the spirit by the spirit. That's what the saints say,
that
right?
saying, yeah, that's
That's what the
we say
saints say,
that
try the
too.
spirit by
Yeah,
the
that's what we
spirit.
say. Because that's what the word, that's the word.
Right? That's what the word says. But real recognizes real. And sorry, y'all, I was eating popcorn before. Don't judge me. I'm hungry. And that's why I want to talk about character, because there's a difference between being and doing. So we're going to talk about character. And I love this quote by Anne Frank. It says, the final forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. The
Yes, it's a
final
good one.
forming of a person's character lies in their own hands. And so, Gina, I say that I love, like I said, I never taught on character. I really didn't study character, but character is such an important key to our worthiness, to our being, to us living this faith walk, walking this thing out, right? Because we got to
Absolutely.
make sure that our character is in check, right? That we are doing that we are presenting ourselves properly. But we also got to make sure that the people that we are following, that their character is in check too. What do you think about that?
Right. Absolutely. Oh yeah, you just said a mouthful, you know. Um, we've said it before as far as being aware of what you are subjecting your spirit to, you know, what you're allowing into your gates. And so honestly, what to me, what we're talking about even is discernment to a certain level or a certain degree, right?
Yeah.
Being able to recognize, okay, yeah, no, now I can rock with that. I can't rock with that, you know. And I know definitely there have been individuals that I've, you know, like, oh, okay, all right, yes, I like that. But then, I'm sorry, what, what was that? Mm,
Mm.
okay, time to change the channel, you
Right.
know,
Especially when
because
their character,
you
when a
got to have
character is
your antennas.
exactly, exactly. Now, Gina, I know that this was me when early, in my walk of faith, I was striving to be accepted by God. It's like I wanted my Christian report card to look good. I wanted my report card to look good so he could accept me. But what I realized is that I was doing instead of being the person that he already created me to be, right? We forget that we already accepted.
Right.
We
Yes,
already accepted.
we get into a routine of thinking we have to earn.
You're right.
We
We
have
don't
to
have,
earn the gift that was already given. It's a gift, right? You don't have to earn it, right? And we already always say, you know, the price, the cost, it's already been paid. But I know I've gotten caught up in the same thing, in that feeling like, okay, and that speaks to the core of worthiness, right? When we recognize and know that, okay, this is who I am, this is what I've received, this is what is rightly mine because I have received this, and being
right.
able to just stand up, claim those things, and walk in those things. But you know, honestly, it's like, oh, I didn't this today, or oh, I messed up and did that. And we beat ourselves up on things that really at the end of the day, it's not even that important. It's not even that relevant, you know, because we don't get in based on works.
No, no, not at all. It's like we get it twisted that being who you are versus doing and trying to seek God's approval. It's like we are already enough. Baby girl, baby boy, you listening? You are already enough. And y'all, if you have not shared this broadcast tonight, what you doing? Share the broadcast. Help somebody out. Because I guarantee you something that's going to be said tonight is going to help somebody. Something that is going to be said is going to free somebody. It's going to be that
Right.
one thing that you've been waiting to hear. It could be confirmation, whatever it is. So share. So guys, remember, we are already enough, not because of what we do, but because of who we are. Right? When
You
God
know what? I
sent us
just
here,
feel, not to cut you off, that's a prophetic activation that I need, you know, that to your point, like somebody needs to say that right now. Like you need to say that I am already enough.
right? Say it. Let's put it in the chat. I am already enough. I am already enough. And remember, it's not because of what you do, it's because of who you are and whose you are. You are already enough. Guess what? Our gifts, our achievements, all that stuff don't define us. We define them.
Come
We
on, because
define
they
those
what?
things.
They follow
Right?
you. You don't follow after them.
Exactly. Exactly. That's good, Gina. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Well, come
Now,
on, I'm just trying to keep up.
I am enough. No, again, y'all, we talking about character tonight because I want to help some people. Because some of us is out here looking a little wild in the streets. Some of y'all be like me, where we be tiptoeing on this tightrope line between being hood and being holy. And I'm trying to get my life together, so I had to revisit this character point to help myself out, and I wanted to help y'all out too along the way. Now, let's talk about humility, because we all know the power of humility can definitely shape somebody's character. It definitely plays a key part when you talk about someone's character, right? Now let me give y'all a little educate real quick. Let me give y'all a little educate real quick.
Let's talk about being humble.
And I'm looking at my notes. So don't judge me. It's the podcast. We doing what we do. It's Uncommon Faith. Here we go. So guys, the root word of humility comes from the Latin word humilitas, okay, which may be translated as grounded or from the earth. Humility is a safe foundation for which we build our self-worth. Woo. I hope y'all caught that. I hope you caught it, because that was deep, okay? Humility comes from a Latin word, guys, humilitas, which can be translated as grounded or from the earth, okay? So we all got to remember, we should always walk in humility, because we are all from the earth. We are all from the same place, right? So that's why we should stay grounded, connected to the earth.
Absolutely.
Right? Like what the old folks used to say, they put their pants on
one leg at a time,
just like you do, right? And so when you reach a certain level of success, or when your gifts put you in a place of higher ranking, or your gifts have helped elevate you, once you start achieving, we still got to walk in humility, Gina. We still got to walk in humility. It's like so many of us lack a healthy self-worth often because we get to a certain point and we just forget. We start thinking that is us.
Right. And like we always like to say, and just remind ourselves, right? Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget your humble beginnings, right? Because I'm sorry, I think everybody's one situation, one incident, one something from being right back in that place. So, right. We always have to remember it. Look, it's a gift. God's grace has put us in places and allowed our gifts and talents to elevate us, right? But at the end of the day, what's the reason? What's the purpose behind the elevation?
Exactly.
It's not so we can get up and just look down on other people. Not at all. It's so we can help others also get where we are.
Exactly. And I love this quote. I got a lot of quotes tonight, y'all. I love this quote by Mother Teresa. It says, if you are humble, right? Nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace.
Yes.
Because they won't touch you, because they don't magnify, they don't define you.
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
Because you so centered and you're grounded, like Regina said, she was literally grounding yesterday.
I was grounding
on the sidewalk. Me and Riley, we constantly be outside grounding in the yard, because we got to remember where we come from. We got to remember that. We got to stay connected. So I love this one. It says, confidence gives you the courage to do what you came to this earth to do. Humility gives you the capacity to be the person you came here to be.
Come on.
That's so major.
Yes.
Confidence gives you the courage to do what you came here to do. Because we all have an assignment. We all have a mission. And y'all, we're talking about character tonight. We're talking about character. And so confidence gives us let me do what God has called me to do. I don't care if it's 5 or 10, 30, 50 other people already doing what God called you to do. Get out there and do it. Right? But humility gives you the capacity to be the person you came here to be. Right? So in order to achieve the things that you have to achieve, you got to be that person. And a lot of times we get there with the courage, but because we don't have the capacity to walk in humility as a person, you will see so many people downfall. You will see so many people fall. And this is one, and character is one of the things that the old church needed. Character is one of the things that caused so many leaders in the church to fall, because you got the courage to step out on faith, to do what you do, launch that ministry, get that thing going, do all those things, listen to the intuition of the Spirit. But because you lack character, you lack the capacity to be a person of good character and to walk into humility. That's how you've been touched by praise and disgrace. Mm-hmm. And when you want more praise, you're tempted to do more things to get you more praise.
Right.
And when you feel like you've been disgraced, you're going to try to, prove people wrong. Right?
Because when we get in that mindset, you're starting to feel like it's all about you. And one thing we always have to remember that helps us to stay in that place of humility is that it's not about us at all. Any of this, the assignment, the walk, it is not about us. What's the song? It's not about me. What?
You're something else.
But it's just, that's how so many different things that I just kind of say to myself to constantly remind myself, because it's easy at the end of the day. We're flesh, we're human, right. So those things are things that we are naturally prone to do. Right. So it's like, hey, slow down, slow your roll.
Exactly. And some of the things I just want to touch on, thank you, Holy Spirit. Some of the things to touch on when it comes to things that will kind of pull down, that will cause you to step out of walking in humility. It will be the love of money. The love of money will pull you out of walking in humility. The love of money plus some money in your bank account will definitely pull you out of walking in humility. Because when you love it, and then you have the courage to go out there and get the money. Like LaJames say, I'm trying to go get the money. Okay, sorry, y'all. I love you so, LaJames. Well, LaJames was like, I'm trying to go get the money. So he went to go get the money, right? When we go get the money, so you already love money. And then you have the courage to go get the money.
Yeah.
But because your love for money exceeds the purpose, right, that you were put here,
right,
it pulls you out of being able to walk in humility, and it damages your character.
Right. You're out of purpose at that point. Right. Yeah, because now you're redirected now to make it's all about the bag for you and whatever it takes to do that and obtain that. And unfortunately, we see that even happen in some of our churches, just monetizing so many different things and, VIP sections for this and that and all this other stuff. And it's like.
Right. We ain't gonna touch on all of them. I don't want the same.
Yeah, I ain't trying to step on no toes. I'm not, I'm not trying to, don't come for me in the comments. Ain't
You were something else. But guys, humility is another point. Again, we're talking about character tonight. We're talking about character. And so we were just talking about the power of humility and the power of being able to walk in humility. Because we need courage to get where God is taking us. But we need humility to help us have the capacity to just still be a real human, a real person, a good person, to stay in that position. Amazing. So now let's talk about, I love this one. Next part of making sure you're able to have that, your character in check is going to be being able, nurturing peace in your private world. Being able to nurture peace in your private world. Now, this one is big to me because I see so many of successful people where they've had the courage to reach all of these accomplishments, get all these accolades, just amazing things. They're able to accomplish so many things and be rewarded for it naturally. But they never mastered peace in their own world, especially peace in their private world. And it's a dangerous place, Gina. That's a dangerous place to be. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Peace. Let me tell you, when you are dealing with individuals who have gone through some things, right? And have experienced trying to live in chaos and the craziness, you come to value peace.
Yeah.
Like you learn to not compromise when it comes to something that you know is going to disturb your peace. For instance, disturbing the peace in my home. I know there are certain things that, hey, it cannot be allowed, because when it comes to this sanctuary, right? You got to have peace.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And one of the things that I find, Gina, is that, again, sometimes we be striving to please God, striving to please others, striving to do those things. But when we really look at working on that inner peace, it's like inner peace is really when you just accept like the full work that was done on the cross by Christ. If you truly
Yes.
understand the fullness, well, I would just say the completed work, the completed
Yes.
work that was done by Christ on the cross, then that would definitely be a catalyst to you having that inner peace.
Yes.
Because if you can truly stand and say all is well, because all is well, like for real,
Right.
all is well.
Right.
Your peace is guided by something different. That's why Mother Teresa
When
said. That's why she said, if you have that humility, nothing will touch you. Nothing will touch you, praise nor grace. And that's because you're so centered. You're so
Yes.
calibrated. You're calibrated to the cross. You're calibrated to your calling.
Come on
You're
now. I
calibrated
like
to
that.
you're
And calibrated to
calibrated.
the cross.
When you're calibrated to the cross, it don't matter. Gina, I used to be someone, if someone said something and I was thinking about, we've been dealing with a lot of family and stuff like that. And I've been thinking about, how do relationships and family, they get messed up. They get messed up. And a lot of times it's about he said, she said. And
Yes.
because somebody talked down on my name,
Right.
the relationship is messed up.
Yeah.
At this point in my life, because I value inner peace and I'm so calibrated to the cross, I really don't give a damn.
That's it. And I'm
I really
sorry, but
don't.
when you're in that place, sometimes it can be misconstrued and taken
Absolutely.
as being, oh, you don't care, you're cold, and things like that. And it's like, no, I'm no, 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 not me. I'm none of those things. What I am is good and knowing who I am,
Right. I'm just
who
so
I
good.
am.
Right.
And don't, not to say that, dude, it it hurts. Yes, it's gonna rub me the wrong way if I know somebody saying something concerning me that is not true, that is
Right.
inaccurate, and as a result of that, I know for a fact it has tainted the view of me to other people who I haven't even really had an opportunity to interact with you, but you already have. You see what I'm saying?
Right. But check
Formulated
this
your
out, Gina.
opinion based on some false stuff because maybe
Exactly.
somebody was in their feelings or they was dealing with something I don't know that had nothing to do with me, but as a result that's put on me now. And you know what, I've just learned to give that in those people and all of that to God. I was like, that's not mine to carry.
It's not, because guess what? Just like we started the show with, real recognize real.
Come
Try
on.
the spirit by the spirit. So that's why I have so much inner peace, because I'm calibrated to the cause. At this point, it doesn't matter what you say about me, honey boo boo. It doesn't matter, because when someone crossed my path, because my character is going to be so on point, they're going to question the validity of what you told them.
That's it.
They're going to be
And
looking
if you
like, this
didn't,
is not the flower that I came across.
right.
This
And
is
if
not
you
the woman.
didn't, if that's not you, right? If you're not the person that does exactly that, to like, wait, some not really adding up. That don't necessarily compute. But you
Right.
just go along and just follow whatever this one said and whatever that one said. I encourage you to stand in your own truth.
Absolutely, you know.
Stand in your own
Absolutely.
truth. You know, be a leader. Guide, allow the Lord of the Spirit to lead you. Don't allow
Allow
yourself to just be
definitely.
led by others.
Right. And stop taking people's words for granted. Because what I found out, because we're talking about character tonight, one of the first things that someone does to try to damage the perception of your character is they'll talk about you. They'll
That's
find
it.
something to talk about, or they'll bring up some stuff from your past, and you have grown, you have evolved. And it's like, and even now when people can bring up stuff from my past, it don't matter. Like, yes, I
Right.
was a teenage mom. Yes, such and such happened. Yes, yes, all of that. But guess what, baby?
Look,
It don't
in that
matter.
moment, I'm sorry, I'm straight Eminem. I'm like, what? I am a Uncle Tom. I am a bum who lives in a trailer
Exactly.
park with my mom. Like, what? Tell these people something they don't know about me.
Right.
What?
It don't matter when you're calibrated to the cross, when your character is so on point, you don't have to go and chase and do all these Facebook rants and all of this stuff, because guess what? Who cares? Who
Right,
cares? Because real recognize real, try the spirit by the spirit, and keep it moving, because what you're gonna do, people are gonna be like, oh, you say you kingdom, but as soon as somebody come talking about you, here you go, using all of those
right,
using every word in the alphabet multiple times,
right.
using all those words, all of that.
Clapping your hands. What?
First of all of that. It, we don't have to do that because we walk in humility, right? We walk in humility. Praise nor disgrace moves our needle because we so calibrated to our calling, we so calibrated to the cross, and we're so calibrated to Christ. All right. Now, some of us, Gina,
Yes.
we are addicted to outer life. We're
Come
addicted to
on.
outer life instead of inner peace. We're addicted to what's going on outside versus what's going on inside. And y'all know my story with my husband. I was so addicted to what's going on with him. He doing this, he getting on my nerves. He's spending all this, he doing all. Once I started working on my inner peace, working on my character, that's when things started changing in my marriage. That's when things started changing in other relationships. Once I turned the mirror on Flower, like, Flower, we got some work to do. You over
That's
here
it.
worried about this man, you over here doing this. What's going on with you, boo?
Right.
What's going on with you? So guys, we gotta focus on. And then so many times it's like we rush so much from one activity to the next activity and I'm huge with my sabbatical house is rest, reflect, and rejuvenate. We got
Yes.
to take time to rest. We got to take time to reflect on what's going on, what we just been through, especially if you're in a relationship or you just got out of a relationship. You have got
Oh
to
my
take time to
goodness.
rest, reflect, and rejuvenate. You have
Yes.
to. Because if you don't, that's how we do that insanity thing. We keep doing the same
Yes.
thing and expect different results. And it's because you, baby boy, baby girl, you haven't taken time to really work on that inner stuff.
Right. You don't
Right,
stop
Gina?
and sit with yourself long enough to do that, and like you said, just relying on the outside to validate us, whether it's praise from, your significant other, or how much attention I can get because of how I'm dressing, how I'm looking, or this, that, and the third, or how many accolades I can get at work, or promotions, or all of these things. We use
Or how
these
many
things to
followers did I
feed
get?
us.
Right. How many
Yes.
followers? How many likes did I
How
get?
many
How
likes,
many?
all of that. Who looked at my stuff, who did it, and all of, and we use that to motivate us and to drive us, whether it's in a positive direction or a negative direction, as opposed to realizing that none of those things and those people are your source.
Right. Absolutely. Now I love this. Like I said, Mother Teresa is amazing. This is what she said: silence, solitude, and stillness are your friends. Are your friends of God.
Yeah,
Silence, solitude, and stillness are friends of God. It's so important. In order to operate in humility, you got to constantly recalibrate yourself. You have to constantly stay calibrated. You got to constantly remember who you are, whose you are, and where you came from. You have to constantly
absolutely.
do those things.
That's what we
You
say
know,
daily. Take that time to pause and reflect. You know, if it's at the end of the day, reflect over what, or in the beginning, you're reflecting over. Like I said, I desperately needed that, and that's why I found myself yesterday in a place of solitude, laid out, and I could care less who saw me, what they said, what they thought. It didn't matter. But
yes,
to,
yes.
yes,
I think I hit
reflect.
something. My bad.
I
Oh my gosh. Yes. Rest, reflect, rejuvenate. Absolutely.
relax,
Absolutely.
relate, release.
Regina, you something else. No. All
Relax.
right, guys. So again, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Tonight we're talking about character. We're talking about character and how
And we're gonna
character.
go to a break and come back.
Oh, it's break. Oh, it is break time. My bad, y'all. It's break time. Why y'all didn't tell me it was break time? All right, guys, we will be right back from our break. We're gonna continue to break down this character thing and how this can help you and help somebody else be set free. So definitely about to go on break. Definitely share this broadcast. We will be right back.
Life is better when you are living on purpose, but many times we get stuck in the rat race and in the mundane task of our day-to-day lives, causing most to lose sight of their purpose. That's why certified life coach, inner healer, and business strategist Laflower Bowie is here to help you get calibrated to your calling through proven systems, techniques, and resources. Order a copy of her book, Principles to Reposition, to assist you with your journey, or schedule a free clarity session to kickstart the journey. After these sessions, clients have stated they found clarity and opened their eyes to things they had long forgotten. So get social and follow Laflower on all social media platforms at Laflower Bowie. And don't forget to mention Stunner Radio sent you.
Hey guys, welcome back to
Welcome
another
back.
episode of Uncommon Faith. Whoop whoop. It's your girl Laflower and Regina. We are talking about character tonight. We're talking about character and how character can help you in so many different areas in your life. And I think that there's not enough conversations about character. It's not enough conversations about character, because I know once I started looking at character, I started looking at myself, then that's when things started changing, especially in my relationships, my relationship with God, my relationship with my spouse, siblings, different family members. So character is important. Now, Gina, I want to move on and I want to talk about how character relates to the renewal of our minds. Everybody in there, all the saints know. All I'm gonna say is Romans 12:2. I'm pretty sure y'all was already saying it before I was saying it. As soon as somebody say renewing of their mind, but y'all
Come
know.
on.
But in
I
all
beseech ye.
you something else. So 12:2, right? Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be
Be
transformed by
ye
the renewing.
transformed.
Being transformed by the renewing. Right, guys. Our belief systems can be our driving force, the things that help us excel, but they can also be the things that keep us down. Right? It's like we see life through our filters and through our belief systems, right? Our belief system make up, it's like nurture versus nature. Nurture is how you were raised. Nurture is, the environment that you were raised in. Nurture is the people what did people pour into you? What were the belief systems that you were raised with? Okay. Because that, of course, that has shaped your mindset, is a part of your character, right, Gina?
Yes, Laflower.
You're on my nerves. But guys, I love this because one of the things that impact our humility when it comes to our thoughts is fear-based thoughts, fear-based belief systems. They distort our vision so much. So much.
Absolutely.
Now, y'all know we grew up in the country. Y'all know we grew up in the country. So, and our grandmother, maternal grandmother, she's from the boot. She's from Louisiana. So it was a lot of fear-based belief systems that we grew up with. A lot of superstition, a lot of, just so many things. So many things. Like, don't get swept with the broom. Just
And if
so
you
many.
do, y'all know what y'all got to do with that broom if you don't want to be cursed.
Disgusting. It's disgusting what you got to do with the broom, but it's the fear. And Marcus and I were talking. You silly Gina. Marcus and I were talking to a family member, and she's in her 60s, and we were talking about something, and almost every couple minutes, I was like, "That's a fear statement. That's a fear. Oh, I can't live over here because of this. I can't do this because of this." Or you know how them folks think about us. I was like, how do they think about us? Well, y'all, you know what it is. Or who is they? And I'm not talking about my mama, y'all, but I want to know, who is they? They said.
I don't know who they is. Still trying to figure it out.
I still can't find they. But these, if we don't renew our minds, Gina, that can be the detriment of us being able to have the courage. Now, this doesn't talk to the person almost, but this talks to the courage in order to even step out on faith to do what you were put here to do.
That's a mouthful.
What you think about that?
That's a mouthful. You said we know, going back to the fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real, right? And so again, we receive these things and accept it to be true, and all it does is ultimately hold us back and put us in a box, and so you can only go so far, you can only do so much, and until you conquer that, you will never fulfill your purpose, not and go as far as you can. And I know that, for myself, it's like you have to step out on faith and trust that, things are going to be what it is. But that fear, it's crippling. Fear and anxiety and all of those things that go along with it is crippling. People end up taking their lives out of this and stuff, because there's just no hope, is just despair. And it's because of, the fear of the unknown.
It's so true. So true, Gina. And I remember riding through different parts of Houston, with our dad growing up, because we lived out in the country, we had a house.
Shout out. Happy birthday, Daddy.
Yes. Rest in peace.
Happy heavenly birthday.
Oh, happy heavenly birthday, Papa. But I remember riding through different parts of Houston, where he had friends all over town. And as I got older and I look back on some of those areas that we used to be in, some of them may call them, projects, whatever. But I would think back, I'm like, God, if we didn't grow up in the country, and if we grew up in some of those neighborhoods our dad used to take us to, it's like, would I have the courage to get out? Would I have or would my belief system be, this is all there is?
You know what? I think the culture and the environment can definitely play a part in that. But when you look at individuals that have grown up in those areas,
Right,
hey,
absolutely.
I live off Jensen, whatever, what I'm saying? Like, and they still excel and handle their business. At the end of the day, what comes to my mind and my thoughts are, it's what was being put in me. It didn't matter my location.
Right.
It was what was being put in me and instilled in me that, yes, you can do this. Yes, you are great. Yes, and all things are possible. And accepting that and believing that as truth.
That's it. Bingo. That's where I was going, Gina.
Come on, girl.
We believe. I love it. We got the Uncommon Faith shop coming soon, y'all. But you're right. We believe what we become. And it's so vital. It's like, how do you transform your mind? How do you renew your mind? One of the ways that we do that is just expanding your knowledge, right?
That's it.
Expanding your knowledge, reading, looking at researching people who are in positions that you want to be in, right? Expanding your network, having a mentor, having a coach, connecting with people who have traveled down the path that you're seeking to go.
That's it. That's going with, come on, find that person and copy them. And you're likely to get where they got. Now, don't copy them if they didn't get there the right way. But you hit on something. You hit on something that made me think about, a close friend of mine and how we grew up in similar situations, yet different. Like both parents at home and siblings and close family and all of those things. But this individual had a very closed mind and very narrow view of things and how it should be. And just not open to realizing that it's not necessarily black and white, or that maybe there are more sides to it than just two. Exactly. Maybe it's a square, maybe it has four sides, and as I watched my friend grow and evolve as I'm, trying to this and that, different things happen and opening their mind. And now, they're open-minded and a totally different person.
Right.
So you have to be open to receive those things. When you reminded me of the person you said that you was speaking with that was a little older in age. It's like, if certain things are put in, and to your point, the researching things and checking into things, and we just accept it as what it is, and we don't take the time to check or just explore things outside of our everyday regular interactions and influences.
Right.
And that's huge with social media and stuff today. It's so, oh my gosh, most of the stuff that's on social media is not true. But it's like, if you just stop for a second, Google is my friend, understand? Because I'll Google real quick and get to researching. And it's like, look at this.
You got to go beyond that. You got to dig deeper.
You do. But I said Google because that's very easy.
Yeah.
That's real easy. Like, instead of just receiving it as being true, it doesn't take nothing to just quickly try to fact check, But anyway, I get off my soapbox.
I got you, Gina. I love it. All right, Gina, let's help the saints and those of us, who walking on that tightrope line. A lot of times when we talk about Romans 12:2, so many of us believers, it's always like, I'm renewing my mind to be more like Christ. I'm renewing, and I'm not saying that that's not what we shouldn't do. But I also want you to renew your mind to help get you on the path of your calling. Expand your mind. We got to expand. We got to network. Okay. So many believers, it's like our heads are we know, and y'all, I'm not going to talk about this long. We know so many scripts, all of this stuff, but God did not call you in the office of a as a part of the church, of a leader in the church. I'll say that. He didn't call you to get up in the pulpit. He didn't call you to minister or to be a prophet and things like that. Your life is supposed to be your ministry, but your area, you got a different lane. Your platform is different, but you're so busy. Okay, I gotta, with that closed belief system that you can't even research and become an expert in your field, which in turn impacts your character, which impacts your growth. And you got people who saying you're an amazing believer, but you're unsuccessful as a person.
Wow.
We got to do better.
Absolutely. As you're speaking and you're thinking, oh my God, for our family, this week has been a difficult one because we're only 2 days into, losing a real one. you know, and just thinking about the life that he lives and allowing your life to be your ministry. The amount of people, countless for me at this point, countless number of people that he impacted and that trusted him and went to him and confided in him and called him friend and called him confidant and called him counselor, you know, it all goes back to his character and the type of person he was. And just one that people just wanted to be around. Because when we talked about the real versus real, real recognizes real, right? And so you draw, and some of us got to be okay being where we're at.
Oh, you in the next one. Let's go move to the next topic, Gina.
Okay, come on.
Guys, the next thing we want to help, the next thing that we want to talk about when it comes to your character and developing your character and how this is going to help with your worthiness, it's going to help elevate you and keep you aligned, guys, with your purpose. And that is being able to understand that surrender is the birthplace of victory.
That's it.
Surrender is the birthplace of victory. Now, so many of us fear the word surrender, just like so many of us fear the word submission.
Submit. Mm-hmm.
Right. We fear both of those words, but they're
powerful words.
They're so powerful.
Yes.
Hint, you know, just like we should be surrendering and being submissive to God. Right. So wives out there, I'm not going to touch on the wives tonight.
Yeah, let's leave them alone.
On surrender. We surrender. Okay. But, oh Lord.
Let me tell you, when we hit on surrender, it's even, like I said, accepting where you're at. And I know I was at a point where I felt like, okay, no, I think I should be here. I think I should be doing this. And that's not what was happening. And so I'm just turning my wheels. And it wasn't until I said, okay, and threw my hands up.
Exactly, Gina.
And said, I accept and receive that clearly this is where you want me and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. That right. My walk in this area is not going to look like that person's. My success is not going to be defined like others is. It looks different. Right. And that was such a freeing revelation. Because it got me off of that wheel and stopped chasing the ideology that I had of what it should be and what it should look like. And exactly. So once you surrender to allow God to do what he's doing, and oh my God, surrender in so many places, in so many ways. In every area of your life, there's somewhere where you can surrender.
Right.
So and like we said, there is power in that.
There's so much power in it, Gina.
It's strength.
I like to look at surrender as when we surrender, it's an open invitation for divine help and divine intervention. Right?
Come on.
It's an open invitation because God is not going to be anywhere where he is not wanted and where he is not needed. So when we have that when we surrender, God is able to come in and be that present help that we quote scriptures about, right?
Come on.
We quote the scriptures about him being our present help, but if we don't never surrender and invite, y'all better be, I hope y'all didn't share this broadcast tonight. If we
don't let go and let God
in, right? He will not be our present help. He will not give us any divine intervention. And that divine intervention is what so many of us need to help us recalibrate to our calling and recalibrate to the cross and recalibrate to Christ, because that's when he is going to let us know, baby, keep pushing. No, take a right. No, exit right now. Get the hell off of this train because it's about to crash. He will give us that divine intervention to let us know. But what do? We seek outer help. Our character, right. because we don't have that inner peace that we talked about. We seek that outer peace, that outer stuff, that outer life. So what do? Instead of taking a step, like Regina said, to pause, surrender, invite God in for that divine help, that divine intervention. No, we go pick up the phone call and go call other people who their character ain't even on point, and they're not living their purpose-driven life, but they know the same, y'all all know the same scriptures. Come on now. We gotta wake up. We gotta wake up.
Help is on the way.
We have got to wake up. Now,
absolutely.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yes, you did.
The preacher in me came out.
Her help has arrived.
All right, y'all. So again, tonight we've been talking about character. And I'm so happy that God, really placed this on our hearts to talk about tonight, because I know that it was needed. And that's not even it. Gina, we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to do some extended workshops, some immersion weekends, when we just really dive deep and really help free.
Because this is surface. This is surface. This is surface level.
Exactly. It's so deep. But let's jump into our soul work. If you've been tuning in tonight, or if you're catching a replay, if you've been, y'all know our segment now is soul work, because if you've been listening to our broadcast, I want you to actually have your journal. I want you to write these questions down. Take a screenshot if you on your phone, whatever. But I really want to know, our soul work question today is, in what ways have you diminished or swallowed your true voice to go along with the status quo? Because again, the status, when you go along with the status quo, that means that you are tempered by praise or by grace. You're tempered by culture. You're calibrated to culture instead of being calibrated to your calling, instead of being calibrated to the cross, instead of being calibrated to Christ. You're calibrated to culture, right? You're calibrated.
Say that. Quo, let's repeat that. Let's repeat that again. So in what ways have you diminished or swallowed your true voice, your truth, right? To go along with the status quo, what everybody else is doing, what they expect you to do, whatever it might be, outside of what your truth is. And you say, what is the truth? That's just like I said a minute ago with me on that wheel and going and going and going. I knew that I wasn't aligned, that something wasn't clear, it wasn't right. I knew I wasn't walking in my truth. So when we stop long enough in a silence long enough to hear, then we know and we get that direction.
Amen.
Amen. That's a good question right there. How long?
How long, guys? I know I've been there. I have.
Yes.
There's so many truths. There's so many. I have been silenced, especially when it came to me entering into a marriage, what I thought a wife was.
Come on with the Wife Chronicles.
What I thought a wife was, right? What I thought a good Christian woman looked like, right? How does she act? All of those things. I have definitely, swallowed and diminished some things that I knew was truth. It was in my gut as truth.
Right.
But I went along with culture. I went along with the status quo. I didn't want to damage my character even more, but in return, I was impacting my character in by default, and I didn't even realize it, because I was calibrated to culture and to the belief systems that I grew up with. Right?
Come on.
The belief systems of culture, instead of me expanding and doing my own research, or like you said, getting quiet enough to surrender long enough to get those divine guys. God
get the download.
Downloads.
Get the download.
Downloads on everything you need to do in your life. And he will give you confirmation. I was just having a conversation with Regina this morning. Less than 15 minutes later, the spirit prompted me to go over here. I'm like, I gotta get back home. I went over there. I got total confirmation from a complete stranger at a gas station, from a conversation that I was having with Regina less than 15 minutes before.
Yes.
Right. But it was because when I was in that car, I was quiet, And it was quiet enough that I could hear the Spirit.
Come on. That direct you. And then what we always talk about here, obedience. You was
Right.
obedient and followed.
Amen. Amen.
Oh my goodness. Our time, guys, we have, you know, I hate this time when it's time for us to say goodbye until next week. But this has been an amazing show. I really hope that you received something from this, and definitely take that stalwart question and just spend some time and think about it. Just sit with that thing. You know, it popped in my spirit when you were talking to Flower. I'm gonna say this really quickly, that in swallowing your truth and going with the status quo, it made me think about the kids. It made me think about the youth today. And as they sit back and watch kids be bullied and picked on and treated horribly, and you know that it's not okay. And you know you shouldn't laugh and you shouldn't go along with it. But you know, what do? What did we just say? You swallow that thing and just go ahead and go with what the crowd is doing.
Right.
We got to walk in our truth.
That's so true. So again, guys, our soul word question for tonight is, in what ways have you diminished or swallowed your true voice to go along with the status quo? Guys, tonight our show was about character. I know we don't talk about it enough, but catch the replay. We had some amazing, Regina did an activation on tonight. You better go, girl. Regina did a prophetic activation on tonight. So many amazing things. So I pray that all of you guys are well. I pray that you guys have an amazing week. Oh my gosh, I feel the Spirit. But I know we got to go. That's what we got to be.
But we're going to cover this word.
To switch
yes,
over, you
we
know,
cover this
going,
word.
The Spirit is moving.
The after show.
I love you guys. Grace and peace. Until next time. Good night.
Love you all.